Good evening and welcome to the Town of Auburn Planning Board meeting of Tuesday, February 9th, 2016, now called to order at 7 p.m. This meeting is being recorded and broadcast by Local Access Programming. Is there anyone in the audience that is recording tonight's meeting? No? There being none, please rise and join us in a salute to the flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. It's time I'd like to remind the audience, applicants, town administration, and each of the planning board members to please refrain from asking questions without first being granted consent by myself. And also, Jason Faber will be voting on behalf of Jim Rothra this evening. So Matt, I'll turn it over to you for the first item.
Thank you, Madam Chair. First item on the agenda is a discussion for a request for waivers for site plan approval. The applicant is not going to be present today because they have a concurrent special permit application with the ZBA next week. The waiver doesn't require public hearing, so it was put on the agenda because it didn't need that. I suggest the applicant that they appear in front of the next meeting to discuss this. This is to put a booster on telephone poles. It's something that probably shouldn't be listed in our bylaws, but it is, so it's more of a formality to get it through. But they'll appear at our next meeting instead of tonight.
Okay. So while we have a couple of minutes, why don't we do the approve the meeting minutes from January 12th, and we have January 26th, and I'll entertain a motion on the January 12th meeting minutes.
Make a motion to approve.
Okay. Is there a second?
Second.
Great. Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
And the meeting minutes of January 26th, entertain a motion.
Make a motion to approve the minutes.
And a second.
Second.
Any further discussion, comments, notes for Eric? Okay. Having heard none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, and I'd also just like to note that the applicant Welcome Homes requesting a special permit has been continued to February 23rd. If there's anyone here for that hearing. Okay, and I'll need a motion to continue that to the 23rd.
I'll make a motion.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
And also the applicant Central One Federal Credit Union requesting a site plan modification. Need a motion to continue that to February 23rd as well.
I'll make that motion.
Second?
Second.
Any further discussion? All those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
So. 7:05, we'll wait. Okay.
Oh, that went a little faster than
Oh, yeah, we're there, right? 7:05. So continue from February 9th, the applicant Archie Ernest and Barbara Dion are requesting a special permit for a hammerhead lot under section 5.3.2 of the Auburn zoning bylaws for the construction of a single-family dwelling at 27 Green Street, Auburn, Mass, map 23, parcel 1. You want to come on up to the table?
Thank you.
And reintroduce yourself, please.
Thank you. I'm Attorney Patrick Flynn, here for the petitioner. The last meeting, we had some discussion regarding the proposal to actually move the proposed site from the hammerhead to the handle. And there was also some discussion perhaps of flagging the site, things of that nature.
Yeah, the driveway.
The driveway, correct.
Yeah.
I provided the board tonight with a copy of a revised plan showing the,
Which is up on the,
turn it on the screen there, which shows the proposed dwelling within the handle. Also indicates the grading proposal of the driveway, as well as coming onto the street. In addition to this, I believe in your packet there was an email provided Matt had this looked at by Mr. Don actually had this looked by the engineer, which signed off and gave their go-ahead that this was acceptable to them in terms of sight lines as well as grading.
Yeah, Joanna Paquin said, based on a site visit made on February 3rd, appears the location of the proposed driveway will allow for adequate sight distance for the proposed use. In addition, the plan shows a maximum of 5% driveway slope at the base of the driveway, which they find appropriate, so.
Thank you. So again, as we discussed last meeting, and here again tonight, the proposal in front of you meets the requirements of Town of Auburn bylaws for a hammerhead lot. And it is under your discretion to put this if you would want in the handle as opposed to the hammerhead. The petitioner is acceptable with either version of the plan you wish to accept in terms of the location. There is no preference. They've had a chance to review it. The builders had a chance to review it in terms of some ledge or anything else. There's no issues with that. We're simply ready to move forward. We believe that everything here on our end should check out in terms of what we provided. That again, as we discussed last time, that the proposed use as a single-family dwelling is with conformity and consistent with the neighborhood. By putting it in the handle, if you choose, it's even more conformity with that look of the neighborhood, so to speak, and that the dwelling is located closer to Green Street, which moves it away from the abutters in the rear and more in line with what's already existing. So it's minimal impact on anyone around it. That being said, we request that this be passed.
Okay. Paul, did you have anything you'd like to add?
No, I think that was the only question they had was it going to be in their backyards, and they've moved up in the front where it looks much better, and I would think that'd be easily passed.
Madam Chair, I'm sorry to interrupt. Just for the record, Mr. Kosky, who wasn't present last meeting, but Simon Mullins will watch the video and review the minutes in advance of this meeting, so he'll be eligible to vote tonight.
Thank you.
Ryan?
Almost.
All set? Jonathan?
No, I just think appreciate you taking the feedback and consideration of the neighbors into account. I think you met all that. I hope the neighbors who are here appreciate that as well.
Is there anyone here from the public that would like to add anything?
Peter Oskovich, I'm the abutter in the rear. I like that better. But I just have a few questions, or a couple questions. Why is a special permit needed? If it meets all the criteria, what is the special
The
permit for?
hammerhead lot. Because it's a hammerhead lot.
So you,
Matt, did you want to add anything to that?
Yes, through the chair, the hammerhead lot requirements allows for a lot division for a lot of less than the required frontage for the zoning district. Since standard frontage is 100 feet, a hammerhead lot through special permit allows it to have a minimum of 50 feet of frontage. That's
why, if it's something that's allowable, why is a special permit necessary?
it's allowed via the special permit process. That's because it's less than a 100-foot lot requirement. A special permit's needed since it's less than 100 foot.
Does that mean the special permit could be denied?
That is possible, yes.
And what would allow the special permit? What would cause it to be denied?
It could, yeah.
Through the chair, it would be denied if it didn't meet any of the criteria in the bylaws under section 532 and section 93 for the special permit.
So it sounds like it, as long as it meets all criteria, it goes. It sounds like the special permit is superfluous.
Well, it gives us an opportunity to review the plan to make sure that it conforms with what the neighborhood looks like, make sure that the abutters are, we're trying to strike a balance here,
Okay.
and make sure that the abutters are happy with what we've been able to ask them to do and what they've accomplished.
Furthermore, through the chair, there's also risk of public safety, environmental hazard, or nonconformance with the neighborhood, or the reasons that the board would review the project. For those reasons, could be denied as well.
Okay. Well, I'm happier, whatever my say is, it isn't, but I'm happier that it's in this closer to the road. I'm not happy, but what have I got to say? I mean, it's a nice lot. It's a shame to divide it up, but that's nobody cares about it.
It's progress.
Progress stinks. However, because this town has lost a lot of its character, and little by little it gets cut up. And it'd be a nice lot for somebody to have, full size, raise a family, have a garden, or whatever. Now it's 2 little lots. However, so it's going to go through, but Now, this gentleman said that either in the handle or in the hammerhead itself would be acceptable, but is it set in stone now that it will go in the handle bit closer to Green Street?
That's what we're talking about right now, and we'll vote to approve or not.
And so you'll be approving this plan with it closer to, and once that's approved, they will not be able to move it back.
Correct.
Thank you.
Correct. You're welcome. Anything else?
So just to answer the abutters concern, through the chair, section 5327, as Attorney Flynn mentions the proposed house location should not be located in the handle of the Hammerhead lot unless the board determines that such location result in less impact to the adjoining properties and will be more in keeping character with the existing neighborhood. And I think that's one of the concerns the board had with pulling the house forward through the chair, because it lined up with the houses on both sides.
Anyone else want to comment? All set? All right. Entertain a motion.
Make a motion to approve the Hammerhead lot. Motion to close the hearing first.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. And then a motion to approve the special permit for the Hammerhead lot.
Second.
Second.
Any further discussion? Going to do the conditions.
Town of recommendation.
So,
So if you want to read these with us. Thank you. If I may, Madam Chair.
everyone except 3, right? Go
I just
ahead.
had a suggestion,
Yep.
just based
Yep.
on the past meeting and this meeting. A couple things came up that I thought might be pertinent for the application and considered for conditions if the planning board decides to. Given the front with the grade question that came up, a lot of that grade is located within the right-of-way. I think it would be reasonable to request that the applicant work with the town engineer department and the Mass DOT to ensure that the driveway is of safe grade. And regarding the western edge of the property where the topography slopes off towards the neighbor owner of Balloonist, I believe it'd be reasonable to request that hay bales and silt fence be installed during construction.
Okay. And then as far as 1 through 10, 10 doesn't apply. And number 3,
Plans to sell it, so I wouldn't put that in, right?
right,
Yeah.
and then 24 months, number 4 would be 24 months. Yeah,
1, 2, 4, 5, 6,
yep.
7,
7, 8,
8, 9. It's not in the
earth filling is not,
earth fill, right?
yep,
It's actually on the Beetle zone, right?
right, it's not.
Isn't it?
So 1, 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And in addition to what you
And
just...
9 too, right? Because it's the earth filling. Is that on here?
I don't think there's any earth filling that's gonna be happening. Is there any earth filling that's gonna be?
I don't believe so.
Okay. So then 1, 2,
Looks
4,
level.
5, 6, 7, 8. Okay.
Yeah. Yep.
So moved.
So 1, 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and then what you said about hay bales and silt fence,
On the western property line.
and working with the engineer as far as the grade of the driveway.
Yeah, more particularly Mass DOT for the curb.
Mass DOT.
Okay.
And through the chair, I'd ask if the applicant had any
Yeah.
objection to those suggestions.
No objections to that.
Okay.
So moved.
Motion made, seconded,
Second.
and all those in favor?
Hi.
Aye. Any opposed? I guess not. Well set.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Just a matter of planning a week, come back now for A&R.
Yes, through the chair, I would be drafting the decision prepared for the next meeting for the board to sign. And
But that shows where
once the appeal period passes,
Thank you very much.
generally that's when you apply for the A&R, but you can do it in advance at your own risk through the appeal period.
Okay.
But I
So,
can,
right, so I can come back, it's a separate application process.
yep, for the,
Submitted. Right, so we'll come back probably for the next,
I'll have a decision ready at that meeting
Okay.
for the board to sign.
so I can come back next meeting if I want at that point.
Yes.
2 weeks.
It'll be on the 23rd.
That's perfect.
Okay.
All right, thank you.
All right,
Thank you all very
thanks.
much.
All right, so we'll go to Windmill Estates. Okay, and I'm gonna turn that over to you. Where's John? He was here. John, you wanna come on up? So this is signatures for Windmill Estates definitive subdivision, but also the covenant and the letter of intent, stormwater O&M plan. You're up.
Okay. So through the chair, we have received a signed covenant and draft plans for the Windmill Estates subdivision approved on January 13th by this board. Appeal period has since lapsed, and the applicant is here today requesting the signatures from the board for the covenant and the plans. The technicality behind why we're here today with the letter of intent that was circulated with the packet is that currently the applicant is yet to become the owner of the property. And this letter of intent signed by Mr. Stelmach commits to ensuring that these, that if the board were to sign the covenant tonight and the plans, that following the transfer of ownership, which I believe is to take place Thursday this week,
Correct.
they would wait until such time before recording the plans and the covenant once they become the owners. That is what is before us today for the covenant, letter of intent, and the plans. In addition to that, we also received the stormwater management operation and maintenance plan, which was reviewed by the Water District, Sewer Commission, and Town Engineer, all of which provided feedback on this document and subsequent favor for the maintenance plan.
Okay.
Which that gets attached to the condominium documentation, which transfers to each individual owner.
With each deed.
Right, with each,
Okay.
correct.
Perfect.
Yes, so
That's
I...
what we had asked for.
And I'm trying to counsel with this one, and just to discuss through the chair, the future process for tri-party agreement and when it is at the time, when the condo documents would then be reviewed by the board, just to describe that process.
That's correct. Scott Wren for JW Land and Land Development, excuse me. Given that we don't have a pre-planned condominium development in that it's not, there could be one of 5 different models that buyers choose, we're going to have to amend each time. So we really wouldn't be able to have a finalized set of condominium documents with all the exhibits that would go along with it until we know that first unit that's being sold. We would obviously, we have probably about a handful of changes left to make that we're working out right now, which would certainly, we would have the substantive plans or the substantive master or condo docs all set for review at the time of the tri-party agreement.
Okay.
So following the start of construction to the chair of the road, before they're to apply for any building permits, we come back to the board with a tri-party agreement, bond amount, and possible in the future release of lots and the covenant and such. And at that time, the board could require recording of condominium association documents at that time.
Which our intent is to get that done well ahead of time. You know, we once we get through the process of closing, now that we've gone through the process of all the planning and time periods have elapsed, that's the last thing we have left to do. And the documents are pretty extensive to go through, and they've been submitted to town council, been submitted to Mr. Benoit, and like Scott was saying, we basically just have a few minor changes to make to them, and then we plan on just finishing them right up completely.
Any questions? Paul?
What do we have to sign?
We have a whole bunch of things we have to say.
Through the chair, we have a signed covenant here, which the board would have to sign, and then there's a 3-page Mylar and 4 copies. So 5
Over on
pages
that
of plans
table.
on that small table back there,
If you want to start, Paul, you can
with all the pens and markers over there we
start
need.
signing.
The board has approved, and
This is like 15 pages, so.
it's just a matter of signatures at this time. Just want to remind the board that the 3 votes for, I'm sorry. three votes for the decision are the three that would sign the plan, and I believe, before Mr. Kosky starts.
Hold on, Paul.
I believe,
One moment.
sorry.
Matt's just verifying.
Wendy, John, and Ron. Shoot.
Oh, you're not signing, Paul? Okay.
You were absent for that meeting.
Ronnie, do you want to start? And did you have something that
Good time,
needs to be signed? We caught that in the middle of time. Is that all right?
Oh, you missed the last meeting, right? 26th? It was the 12th that he missed.
It
Okay.
was the 12th,
Okay, just making sure we got that right.
because that was the snowstorm.
Okay.
You don't bother to plow my street.
That's the worst.
Is there anything else that needs to be signed?
Yes,
here?
and in addition, we also have the covenant here. So, matter of procedure through the chair, the plans and the signed covenant original copies would stay in escrow with what party of the town, or what do you need to secure closing?
I'd prefer to have them held with my office in escrow. They'll essentially be recorded simultaneous with the closing on Thursday.
And just through the chair of the board, this must be done in front of a notary, and Mr. Attorney Wren is the notary. So, here it is. Our signature page.
It's just that one.
It's just that one and the rest of the plans.
And then,
It's a lot of signature time, but there's plenty of pages of it. Once Mr. Brooks has signed the covenant through the chair, we'll make a copy for our records and deliver the original right now.
Thank you.
Good luck with the closing.
Thank you.
Nice.
Plan on starting to cut the trees on Monday if all goes well, because the weather is turning cold finally again. And just so the board knows, we plan on sending out a letter to all our neighbors tomorrow, within the 100-foot buffer, so that they have all my contact information, tree guys information, so if there's any questions or any problems, they know who to call first.
Through the chair, I believe,
Preemptive, yeah, go
I
ahead.
believe you did also do that at the beginning of the hearing as an
Yes.
extra measure, and
Right.
went above and beyond. I
Yeah.
appreciate
That's
it.
good.
So Thursday, you'll be doing all the signing.
Yeah.
Hey,
Hope so. I think it's gonna be a nice project for the town.
I apologize, I left with other detail on the covenant. Through the chair, the board is allowed to set a timeline, or expiration date on the covenant. In the past, for every 2 or 3 lot subdivisions, the town has done a 2-year. And on this covenant, it's for a 5-year, which is consistent with some of the other size subdivisions, including some recent ones. So that's the shelf life for the covenant part anyways. I don't believe it should take you that long, but
We
it does
hope not.
give you the cushion.
We hope not. Yeah.
So that's what's provided in the document. All right, it's many pages.
So do we need to vote anything, or?
We have already voted.
Okay, so you don't need any type of endorsement or anything, you're good?
Yes, I'm sorry, I apologize. The board does need to vote to endorse the plan.
Okay.
Okay.
We're doing that now.
Yes.
You wanna make that motion?
I suppose so. I will then make a motion to endorse the plans.
Second?
Your second would be done then. Have to come from Ronnie.
Ronnie, would you vote to endorse the plan that you're signing right now?
Yes.
So that's our second.
Yes.
Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
So voted.
Very good. So that's a formality.
Yep.
So formalities aside for that. Received everything, sorry, through the chair, from the Conservation Commission, received everything from them, your order of conditions, it's all set with DEP.
Yes,
Okay.
they've been recorded.
Awesome. Yeah, that's great.
Do you have something that's gonna be recorded, just the covenant, right? For the,
Yes, the restrictive covenant.
for the restrictive covenant, the property owner didn't want any covenant signed ahead of time, you know, while he was still on the property, he preferred that we waited, so that covenant for restriction will be recorded at the same time
In the open space.
in the open space, all of that will all be done in one time
shot.
closing. Yeah.
No, it's, through the chair, it's not required for the board to sign the restrictive covenant, right? We're just signing,
Right.
and that's to be a 2-day restrictive covenant, is that what that is? And until he transfer of ownership, it's just to cover him while he still owns the property.
No, it'll be
No.
right after the transfer, so we'll put that covenant on and that's in perpetuity, so.
For the chair, I did review this with town council as well, and town council had the conversation with Mr. Stonebrook's council, and I came to the agreement with this letter of intent and the process here. It's a little interesting not being the owner, and
Yeah, it's not the
So-
way things typically.
It's
So-
out of the ordinary.
Yeah.
determine
Unusual.
that if we were in agreement with it, that the letter of intent would serve its purpose, to hold the plans and the covenant in escrow before ownership is finalized.
Okay. You're up.
Okay, ladies first.
Sign away.
Thank you.
There's no easy way to do it. Just slid it around the table and we would,
Yeah, that would have been a nightmare.
yeah.
Oh, yes, Chris?
So we have the table.
Okay.
I think you have the covenant down.
Yeah, that's the last one.
Just on the upper right.
Just for that.
Upper left side, to my right,
I
from
mean,
here.
Mike, at 30.
Yeah.
So if we get a number by noon, it's like an hour and a half point copy of that, we'll be out of there by noon. So if you happen to get the number, you can just come.
Should be a thank you.
They don't know,
Doing that?
Cut a check right there.
John.
they don't know if they're gonna have these updated.
Okay.
So I'm gonna have to call Mr. Burgos. I'll record the other message after the fact.
Okay.
Is Tony in this little shop over here?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Okay. That's,
We're gonna get one of those.
that's for today. Please notarize the planning board. Copy.
Yeah.
I mean, I used to get stuff all the time. Somebody kept before you removed.
Is that a battery?
Yeah, it recharges my phone.
Yeah,
$9.
I don't want it. It's stuff I
Can you
don't
plug that into
Yeah.
your car?
Yeah.
I said,
You can plug it in anywhere, it'll charge, like tonight I'll put it back on charge.
I get to look at it.
Yep.
Tells me how
You
much
get
it's
it,
gonna
yeah.
be.
Right.
Fully charged, so I don't have to
You'll get it all
charge
back.
tomorrow.
Perfect.
But I can use my phone all day, otherwise I'll be out of Dinky by 1 o'clock in the afternoon.
Yeah.
I just do too much with it. the Red Cross is gonna buy me a tablet.
That's good.
So that would be
Yeah.
4 tablets, 3 computers.
great.
And this, and a watch. A watch that I get emails on.
Yeah, is that, yeah,
It runs off that.
Yep.
technology.
My daughter gave me that so she can monitor where I go and what I do. She says sometimes you get crazy.
Yeah.
When we hang around
That
with
was
Dickie.
Put it in his circle.
You made it easy, you already figured it
Yeah,
out.
I got one of those.
I want to be there.
Exactly. I haven't accepted it yet either.
Is Rother in
I
there?
had the same thing,
Probably.
I actually saw your signature, I'm like, wait a minute, what's going on here? Do you see the lines below it, but they don't shoot them off?
Jimmy keeps sending me
Matt, I'll put it in 2-9.
pictures
Great.
of
Yeah, what?
what he's doing.
Oh, I know, but it's not, it's just a paper name marker. Yeah, it's fine. but- Yeah.
Kicks.
No, man.
Yeah.
Where's he at?
Most people are doing it.
He's south of Fort Myers, a place called Whiskey Creek.
Oh,
Do you
yeah.
guys have licenses on you?
Licenses, yeah.
Just for the notary?
No, you seem to pick out what you want before you do it anyways, right? So
It's crazy.
you can pick out what they want. He wants a license.
He bought one and they liked it
He's
so
not
much he
21.
bought another one.
All set? Yeah.
They got good features.
I'm down to 16% now.
How's your son
It's
doing?
it's 4 o'clock this afternoon.
Wow.
I do too much with it. And as I say, this connects to it, so they're communicating all the time, so that drains the battery too.
Yep, yep. Well, I'll connect right up to your tablet too.
Yeah, yeah, I can charge it, I can charge this through my computer, my tablet, through this. But this you have to charge every night.
Oh, no kidding.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
It's like Monsignor. Oh,
Tells me how
We all do.
many steps I took today, how far I walked, gives me my heart rate.
Yeah, I was gonna say, as long as you had, could you calorie burn all that, right?
Yeah,
What's that?
No, work for, Kevin was state rep. Yeah.
Wendy, do you have your license on you?
Hill Time, later. 25 biotech companies that lease space from us. It's pretty cool. So we did lease the space that we can reuse that. Yeah. But they,
I don't see that
they're mostly
early.
come in and
Yeah, what's the other two meetings?
or that whole space themselves.
The other 2 meetings canceled?
The wireless is canceled,
And help them out. get
these
started.
people are gone, the Federal Credit Union canceled. You're here, work from home, down there.
No, that's set up on Packagug, I think, isn't it?
Yeah, we've done minutes, so we should get out of here early. I had to do my driveway at 5 o'clock this morning to go to work. Made me happy.
Did he?
What's up?
I'm not surprised, but.
He's also over.
Right down the hill.
That's why you said, no.
Pretty easily, yes.
Yeah, exactly.
It's insanity. Circus, have you been watching that on HBO, Circus, Showtime? It's a show on the whole called The Circus. Awesome.
in Worcester now, that's what we've been quite here for the last almost 10 years. You know, ready for some kind of you know,
It's just certification.
also so you see the field.
Okay.
Like to like watch you walk up.
It's nice, it's two different,
You know,
now it's two different levels.
it's very different. It's only benefits.
Just a well. Now, so like,
Agreed.
Good.
There's enough time. Really, when you're way far out there, man. Stay there. It does nothing for us.
Yeah.
It's just too
Yes. And that's what Bernie, to me, that's what Bernie makes.
Ron, would you be able to fax me over a copy of your license, or,
I don't have one.
oh, any ID whatsoever? You don't have any ID?
One of Obama's across the river.
Yeah, I got a car.
Okay, all right. I'll, yeah, I'm just checking after, just a formality.
We all set?
We're all set, copy signed, town clerk will sign proof of no appeal, and we'll make this available to you guys tomorrow morning.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Good night.
All right, so master plan committee update, Matt?
Yes.
Any updates?
Yes, actually, Chair, there is the Master Plan Committee organized, creating a chair and vice chair at their last meeting. They are meeting regularly on the first Tuesdays of each month.
Who's the chair and vice?
Chairman is Greg Bowling, he's a town meeting member. The vice chairman is Mark Imsey, he's a former chairman of the School Buildings Committee. And there's 9 members on that committee. They started, got started with their projects.
Yeah. Okay.
Just wanted to make that announcement. They're up and running.
Couldn't get to school.
All right, and we have the DSVD overlay district stakeholder meeting. We're very Square Village overlay district, excuse me. So on February 23rd, there's going to be a meeting at 10 a.m. Where's the meeting being held?
Through the chair, tentatively scheduled for February 23rd, 10 a.m. here, or potentially next door in the Board of Selectmen room.
Okay.
Prior to that, I wanted to circulate a flyer that was created by CMRPC, and the edited version of it that I handed out today, just to make it a little more appealing to the person who opens it for the first time and doesn't want to read it. So the intention is to circulate this to all the property owners within the Drury Square overlay district that we proposed. We received an abutters list, and we're prepared to send mailings out. But before we do that, I believe John, you had some comments that I got today regarding the draft plan and some suggestions for things we should have done before we have this meeting.
Yeah, I might just suggest that we push it off just a little bit so that the planning board can all provide more comment if they had any thoughts on this. I provided my comments just today. I realize it's delayed, but yeah, I'd like to see that be revised first. And I think we might also, we had talked in one of our initial site walks of kind of getting some initial feedback from a couple of the key owners in the area who would be potentially most impacted by this, to get their feedback before we schedule the full meeting. Because obviously we'd like to,
Who were you thinking, Jonathan?
in the walkthrough we talked about the owner of the Shaw's parcel, and then I know New England Development is also a major owner on the property, on the strip. It's actually advertising for sale right now. They have some capacity, so it makes sense to potentially ask those two for the feedback before you put something. I hate to present something to the rest of the business community and then have it change substantially in some way a couple weeks later because you got feedback from another person or two. So.
Sure. Okay. So it's be a point to make those things happen before we schedule the meeting.
Or just to make them happen before the meeting, but either way. And I'd be happy to participate in the calls to those owners if you wanted. Try to move things forward, but I think you want a pretty final, well, I mean, obviously open for community input, all those types of things, but you don't want there to be any substantive changes after that, really, unless they were kind of dictated by that meeting, because people probably aren't going to check back in. So.
Sure. Through the chair, I did forward your draft and concerns to Eric Smith, CMRPC. He was out until the 10th, Thursday, I believe, or tomorrow. And he did say that he could be available for a conference call for you and I to speak with him on Thursday morning if you're available. So just let me know. I'll try to set that up for us.
So it's safe to say that it's not going to happen on the 23rd of February. We'll probably bounce it out until about the middle of March, probably.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, is there, are we trying to get on town meeting agenda? Like, do we have a deadline? If there's a reason to speed it up, we can try to speed it up, but.
I don't think it's realistic to expect us to get this on for May. I
Okay.
think it'd be more apt for the fall rather than May.
Oh, it gives us some time.
In that case, I'd rather do it right. So.
I agree.
Okay. Anybody else? Any comments? Paul?
This was tried once before. In fact, Mr. Brazelton wanted to develop that whole area himself. Offered it to the town, offered the town take that piece of property and he would build that whole place up, give us money to put the high school up on Package Hill. But I would imagine he's on Grand Cayman for the winter.
Which property does he own?
He owns Shaw's, he owns that whole
Shaw's.
property. So he gave, in fact, he offered Bed Bath & Beyond $3 million to give up their lease.
Well,
Yeah.
Paul, you were
And
waiting
what was he gonna do?
Because that's the guy we've been trying to
Huh?
Then
find,
what was he
right?
gonna do?
He wanted to take the high school and build that whole area.
Oh,
another
before the
wall.
high school went
Yeah.
there and put the high school in.
Yeah.
Paul, do you have a way to get in touch with him?
No,
Okay.
last time I talked to him was when I was chairman of the school building committee, and that was even before we had plans or even knew where we were gonna go. But I know that he claimed that he'd been offered a lot of money for the place. He sat at the table, put down 3 envelopes. He said, this is three offers on my property. This is the lowest one, it's $9 million. And I gave Bed Bath & Beyond a $3 million offer to go away. So he's heavily invested in that property.
Well, can we see if we can reach out to Mr. Brazelton and see if we can get a response from him?
Absolutely.
That is fine. We did receive finally a letter from the state, Maura Healy, Attorney General, dated February 2nd, that the article for the, giving us the 1-year moratorium on the marijuana bylaw has been approved. So we have until October
27.
27th, and Matt, you wanted to make a recommendation?
Yes, through the chair. Since we were granted the moratorium, we're actually the first town to apply for moratorium since its previous deadline, December 2014. So because there were adjustments made in August, we were able to get that through. It was, I can say it wasn't surprising, but it did get through. And so that gives us time to work on the bylaw. I believe it would be proper or reasonable to request, or for the board to request that the new zoning bylaw review committee sink their teeth into the draft and provide feedback or possibly a report to the board following their meeting next week.
Any comments?
It's illegal.
Yes.
It's illegal. And not only is it illegal, it's a patent violation.
Ron? No?
Just wait and see.
Jonathan? Anything to add?
I think it's a good plan.
Good plan. Go to the zoning bylaw review committee. Take a look at what you've put out there, and if you have any feedback that you'd like to have go through you,
Sure.
provide it to Matt.
Can we listen to Paul? What he had to say? Why does he say it's illegal?
Oh, well, it is illegal federally. The state has,
There's also a patent held by the Food and Drug Administration that says nobody can do anything with it without their permission. So I would say.
We're not taking on the federal government, though, we're just trying
No,
to,
but what I
we're
would
just
do,
trying to make sure that we zone it so that it's appropriate for the town and working with the police department and fire and all the departments to get it in a place that, although not, it's not exactly what everybody wants, at least it'll be a little more palatable if it's zoned properly and we have some control over it. If we do nothing, then they go wherever they want, right?
I would request that the U.S. Attorney in Boston examine it and see if it could be prosecuted under the RICO Act.
We're not gonna fight the federal fight with the town.
No, I'm not gonna fight, but I would send them a request to do it, her a request to do it. Every study that's come out of Colorado has said the same thing. Their Attorney General said it's stupid, their governor says it's stupid, their Supreme Court says it's stupid. They're pumping marijuana out into 40 different states. Massachusetts is the third highest use of marijuana in the country, behind Vermont and Rhode Island. Colorado is 4th.
Which makes it even more important that we make sure that we put it in a place that is at least a place that we've said that if we have to have it, this is the most palatable place to be.
Right, and through the chair, it's really just to protect our town.
Right.
If and when one of these places ever tries to come here and tries to use
You wanna make
the
sure.
state law, whether it's legit or not, if they try to go under the state law to come to our town, at least we protected ourselves properly for it. We're not promoting it by any reasons with this bylaw. It's just, we're gonna say it can go into these small areas in town if and when it ever does happen. This is so it doesn't go next door to anyone's house or right in the center of town, right next to a school, anything like that.
Right.
That's really
Didn't
the
we
purpose
pick
of
out
it.
some areas?
We did.
Where were they?
They were
That
the,
was the business.
sorry, through the chair, they were, well, the purple areas on the map. This is Sword Street Industrial Park and the Route 20 stretch after the overpass on, it's a industrial IP area, I believe. Two
Very,
industrial.
very limited
By West
areas.
Tech Drive?
Yep, just past that, near the overpass.
Yeah.
Yeah, right after the overpass. And it's preliminary, it's in the draft to be reviewed and to be discussed by the board, the zoning bylaw review committee. And it's just, again, to protect us in case one ever tries to use the state law to come to town.
Yep.
Do you need a motion for that?
No, our motion to recommend it to the ZBRC, yes, if the board would like to do that.
So moved.
Second.
Any further discussion? All those in favor? Aye. Any opposed? All
Aye.
right. I think we will entertain the motion to adjourn.
Want to make that motion to adjourn?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.